Hello world, I am Maria Sofia de Castro together with my groupmates.
Hazel May Maclintal,
Mark Rancica Pobres.
Hernandez Francesca Dominic.
and Jimbers Errol Dunyo.
So before we start discussing our system, we will explain how we came up with the title of Problem Solving Involving Work, Energy, and Power with Unit Conversion Calculator using Python language. We chose this title because we think that is the most relevant and useful study in our program, which is petroleum engineering, in a subject of physics. We came up with this since in order to have accuracy and avoid confusion in measurement of oil, gas, and other oil products, and also extracting oil, we think that unit conversion is the solution. Here is Hazel May Makalintal to answer this question. What is the goal of our system?
So for this question, the goal of our system, which uses Python language, is to provide a calculator that will solve problems relating work, energy, and power along with a unit conversion. This system would be beneficial to engineering students to easily solve different problem sets by just inputting the given values. It is related to physics, which first involves the unit conversion to be able to solve the work, energy, and power that is being asked in a certain problem. Also, unit conversions play a significant role in engineering and science. Almost all of the data that are collected by engineers have units, and these numbers are converted to other units depending on either how the number is to be utilized in an equation or some type of calculations. This unit conversion is important in our everyday life as it helps us understand measurements, especially when we are trying to compare different types of measurements. It also helps us convert between units of measurement, which can be helpful when we are trying to make comparisons and figure out which unit is the best for a particular measurement. And that is all about the goal of our system. For the next question, here is Miss Maria Sofia de Castro. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Hazel May Makalintal. So what are the data needed and where we could get source out the data? So the data that are needed in making this system are the numeric data types, including the integers, float, also the text data type, including strings, while in operators, we use arithmetic operators with the use of multiplication and division, and also comparison operators. We could get source out of data in the given problems involving energy and power along with the unit conversion. And for the last question, what are the expected output? So the expected output are the unit conversion list and problem solving that we're going to explain step by Miss Francesca Hernandez, Mr. Marcans Capobres, and Jimbers Errol Dunyo. Here is Marcans Capobres to start.
So thank you, Miss Macalintal and Miss De Castro. Now I am here together with Miss Hernandez and Mr. Duño to discuss to you the functions of the output. So the first part of the output will be discussed by Miss Hernandez, followed by Mr. Duño.
Good day. I am Francesca Dominic Hernandez and I am here to start the first part of the explanation of our program. The program starts by displaying a code to the user by asking them to select a task, and the available options are unit conversion and problem solving. The code is displayed using print function, then the user is asked to input their selection using the int or the input function. The input is stored in the select variable. If the user selects 1, which is the unit conversion, the program displays another code asking the user to select a type of unit. The available options are length or distance, mass, time, and exit. This code is also displayed using the print statement. Then the user is asked to input their selection using the input function. In line 11, This line informs the user that they have chosen to perform the length or distance conversion. This line prints a code asking the user to select a specific conversion to perform within the length or distance category. It includes 5 options and an option to exit. In line 13, the user is asked to input their selection. In line 14, this line begins an if statement that checks if the user selected option 1, meter to centimeter conversion, and line 15, this line prompts the user to input a value in meters and stores the input as a float in the variable num1. For the next line calculates the equivalent value in centimeter by multiplying the input value in meters by 100 and store it in the variable centimeter. For the elif function, if the user selects option 1 for the length or distance and then selects option 2, kilometer to meter, the program prompts the user to enter a value in kilometer. It then converts the value to meters by dividing it by 1000 and stores the result in the variable and then prints the result. If the user selects option 3, kilometer to miles, the program prompts the user to enter a value in kilometers. It then converts the value to miles by dividing it by 1.609 and stores the result in the variable miles and then prints the result. If the user selects option 4, centimeter to inches, the program prompts the user to enter a value in centimeters and then it converts the value to inches by dividing it by 2.54 and keep the result in the variable inches. If the user selects 5 for unit conversion, the program asks the user to enter a value in feet and then converts it to centimeters by multiplying it by 30.48. Lastly, if the user selects 6, the program displays a message saying you have chosen to exit. If the user enters any other number, the program displays a message saying the number you entered is invalid. If the user selects 2 for unit conversion, the program displays a message saying you have chosen mass and present the user with different options for unit conversion within the category of mass. And to know more about the next line, here is Mr. Dunyo, Jimbers Errol.
So, on the first selection of mass equivalence under unit conversion, we have to enter the value in milligram with the use of float input, then to be converted into gram, which stands for 1 gram value divided by 1000 milligram. On the else if second selection, enter the value in kilogram with the use of float input again, then to be converted into gram, which stands for 2 gram value multiplied by 1000 kilogram. On the else if third selection, enter the value in kilogram with the use of float input again, then to be converted from ton to pounds, which stands for 3 pounds value multiplied by 2000 ton. On the else if fourth selection, enter the value in pounds with the use of float input again, then to be converted from pounds to ounce, which stands for ounces value multiplied by 16 pounds. At the else if fifth selection, entered and print, and the else if fifth selection, choose exit and print, or else the invalid from the number entered and print. Else if selection number 3, we as users will input again the string select. We're gonna choose time to print and the unit conversion about minute to seconds and hour to minutes, then exit. The first selection by the use of float input with entering the value of minute, we're gonna perform a conversion from minutes to seconds through applying multiplication operation between number 1 value of minute and 60 seconds, then print. On the else if second selection by the use of float input with entering the value of hour, we're gonna perform a conversion from hour to minutes through applying multiplication operation again between number 1 value of hour and 60 minutes. Then print. At the else if third selection, choose exit and print or else the invalid from the number entered and print. Other side, at the else if fourth selection, choose exit and print or else the invalid from the number entered and print. And for the last programming step, here is Mr. Mark Renz Capabres to discuss.
Thank you, Mr. Dunyo. Now I will discuss to you the rest of the output. So in line 95, so if you select number 2, which is the problem solving, you can choose from the list either work, kinetic energy, gravitational potential energy, power, and of course exit, followed by the question, what is your selection? So if you select one among the list, you choose work. So in force, you can enter the value of force in Newton. Then for distance, you can enter the value of distance in meter. Then the output is expected to multiply both value of force and distance. Then you will come up with the value of work done by a force in joules. Then if you select 2, of course, you chose kinetic energy. So just like the first option, the user has input the number and then select, and you can now enter the value of mass in kilogram and the value of velocity in meter per second. So as expected, the value will multiply the mass by 1/2 and multiply it to velocity squared. Then you can now get the answer of the value of kinetic energy in joules. If you select 3 in the option, which is the gravitational potential energy, just like the process of first two option above, for mass, enter the value of mass in kilogram, which the gravity is equal to 9.81, and for height, you just only have to enter the value of height in meter. Then it will multiply these three values to get the value of gravitational potential energy in joules. Now in selection 4, of course, you have chosen the power. So you only need to input the value of work done in joules, then enter the value of time in seconds. Then the output are expected to divide the work done by the time it took to do the work. Then you will come up with the value of power in watt. So in selection 5 and 3, of course, you have chosen the exit option. And then we have here the else, which is if you enter a value of number that is not covered of the output, it simply means that is invalid. So that is all for our output. I hope you learn how this program works, and we are hoping that this simple output will help you in solving your equations and problems.
So thank you, Mr. Capabres. So that would be all for our presentation in our system entitled Problem Solving Involving Work, Energy, and Power with Unit Conversion Calculator using Python language.